Right, Saturday morning, the morning after Australia Day, which was a very quiet day for me, which is fine because I had a busy Thursday. Had lots of hassles trying to upload the latest video that I finally did successfully this morning. And it might be just something as stupid as I think the title of the video was too long and it was causing a conflict and it wouldn't allow it to go through, which is so stupid because the error message doesn't tell you that. It just comes up with a bit of gobbledygook about, this is Windows 7, 8 and 10 compatible, and it doesn't help you at all. But like a lot of these error messages, they're useless. So I had to keep persevering. It took about half a dozen times before I got it to actually work. And it's actually, the irony is it's about 10 minutes shorter than most of the ones I've been posting recently. So you would have thought this one should have gone through quickly, but it could have been just simply the length of the title. So I reduced that and it seemed to work fine. So that's good. And I'm just about to go and pick up my new Osmo 3 camera, which should be exciting. I don't have a memory card for it. I could use the one that I'm shooting this particular video now on, but I don't know. I could try it. In an ideal world, what you should do is configure to format the actual video card, the SD card, I should say, the memory card that goes into your camera. I have ordered a Samsung one for the other camera, although it's a 128 capacity. This is a 256, so it'll give you about 1 hour of shooting at 1800. Which is probably okay. I mean, it's probably not going to be a major issue, but I can always buy another one anyway. But I might even just try to put the card from this particular camera into the new one and see how it goes. Nothing can really go wrong. It's just going to, give it a go. Nice cool breeze. Should be a decent ride. And just going to go over again to the Trinity Post Office, and I might pick up a couple of bottles of cheap red, which I haven't done for a while, and have some cheese, bickies, and red wine for lunch, which again I haven't done for quite some time. Oh, my cousin did warn me about Australia Post, and they're shut until Monday. They're taking the opportunity to not open on Saturday, even though it's a normal Saturday. It was the public holiday yesterday, not today. So I don't understand the rationale, apart from the fact they're slack. So I won't be able to pick up my camera today, as I have to wait till Monday, which is a bit frustrating, but that's typical. But Liquorland should open in about 5 minutes, so at least I can pick up some grog. So it won't be a total waste. I mean, it's nice to get the exercise, but I'll make it a little earlier on Monday too. I might get it about 9ish when they open. But it's very annoying. I mean, most other businesses wouldn't be doing that. They'd be open today, but and that's what happens when you've got this quasi-government organisation. 5 minutes I've been waiting here. I've seen half a dozen people come up to that door. They were expecting it to be open, but obviously Australia Post doesn't give a crap about customer service. Obviously the people reasonable expectations it would be open today. So, but again, they're not customer service orientated. There's another person now. Yeah, just a continual flow of people who are expecting the doors to be open. Well, it's Monday morning, and I'll be heading off to Trinity, the Trinity Beach post office again. Presumably they'll be open today because they weren't on Saturday, which wasn't great. It's another extreme weather day, so it's already pretty warm. It's probably about 30 degrees and feels like about 35. So I'll take it easy. And I'm going to go and pick up my new camera, which will be the good thing. To get the DJI Osmo 3, that'll be... it seems to get very good reviews. I just checked out a comparison with the DJI Osmo 2 review with a number of other cameras, including GoPros, and it probably was the most consistent in their evaluation for all 4 cameras. So it's a good unit, and I'm looking forward to getting it and trying it out. Just hope I survive the bike ride, because it is bloody warm. Well, it's an absolute scorcher today. It really is. It's looking online, it said 30, it oscillates between 33 and 34, but it feels like 39 or 41. And tried ringing my friend Steve in Brisbane. It's only 26 down there at the moment, so they've got it easy. But we've still got this stinking hot heat wave. It's actually more pleasant being out in the balcony area outside in my house. At least there's some natural breezes happening. Yeah, just one there, another wisp of air. You can probably tell I'm using the new camera. The quality of the image is substantially better in my opinion. So yeah, it's a very good camera. As I say, it's got a 1-inch sensor, so that makes it it picks up a lot of light, as I said earlier, and the definition of the image is extremely good. I've tweaked a few controls on it. There's so many things you can vary on this camera, so you could spend a day just doing all that stuff. But I just looked up, I think it's a Scottish guy online, he had 20 tips on how to set up the camera. It was a major breakthrough this morning to finally get it to actually operate so I could communicate from my mobile phone. But it's got the app, the DJI Mimo app, and I had one of those before because I had the another model of their cameras, but it's a totally different type of camera to this. It's the action camera, and the specs on this one are much greater. The only thing this one doesn't do, and this is something that's not even important to me, is that you can't take it underwater. It's not water resistant, or you can't waterproof, so you can't take it to like 16 metres below, which I think the other one's rated at, the Action 3. You can do that, which is great if you use it, but I don't think people would use that facility very often. If I went to the Barrier Reef and snorkeling, yeah, it could probably justify it. Although it'd still be, I wouldn't feel comfortable putting a camera underwater, even though it's supposed to be able to handle it. I'd still feel a bit reticent to do it, but you know, I mean, obviously they could still leak. They're not all perfectly made. But this one is not even water resistant, which is interesting. So you have to be fairly careful with it. The other thing is that it's got the gimbal on top, which moves around, so that could easily be broken, and the screen flips, and that's another thing that could be broken. So you have to be very careful with this camera. But apart from that, it's got great specs. Now, what I could try doing now is just giving you rather than you looking at my ugly mush, we'll get and just do a shot of the garden. And that corner's going quite well. I've got a few flowers that are growing, those orange ones. I don't even know what they are, but they just grew naturally here, and they're actually seem to be self-propagating. Same with that tree with the big leaves. Rounded leaves, that's spreading right throughout my garden, so I'm not particularly worried about that. And the other good news is that my the mango did have a spurt of growth, but I thought it might have given up the ghost. But no, it's doing it again. There's a whole lot of new leaves that have sprung up, so it's having a fairly productive season. So it might get a bit of height this year, and I might even get some fruit out of it at some stage in the future. But I mean, those trees can be real monsters. There's a mango tree next to the toilet block at Trinity Beach. The toilet block that's being renovated is taking about a decade of the way it's going. It's just ridiculously long project, but you get used to that up here. But there's a mango tree right next to where the bus stop and the toilet block is, and it's gigantic. And so yeah, they grow very big. So yeah, no, it's been a few breezes. It's so much nicer being out here than indoors. So what I really do need to get some furniture here, so I can maybe get a picture of water with the ice in it, and just pour myself some cold drinks. That'd be a lot bit nicer than being inside. In spite of the fact I try to air out that place, it's when it gets to this sort of level of heat over a period of time, the bricks get hot and it's almost impossible. I have to use aircon at night when I hit the sack around 10ish, and it doesn't really cool. It takes about 10-15 minutes to really start cooling down the room, but after that it's quite good. It works well. I'm usually turning it off about 1 or 2 a.m. I don't really need any additional cooling at that stage. Anyway, is that a bird over there? Oh, I think it is too. Huh. Now I can't see it that well, but yeah, there's definitely a bird over there. So the only other thing about this camera is that the battery tends to go fairly quickly, but that's why I've actually adjusted the screen image. It wasn't switching off at all. It was showing you a screenshot all the time, but that does really use up juice, so I've changed it to 1 minute, which should be enough if I want to frame shots. You know, if you touch the screen, it'll come back on anyway. So I don't know if the other one did that. The action one, it probably did. I can't remember, but also changed the brightness, and that's one of the things the guy said independently when I did it. He actually cut the brightness of his screen down to 50%. The Scottish guy who did a video on it. Yeah, I mean the batteries are good on these, but you do need to use battery management techniques to basically get a reasonable amount of time out of them. I've pretty well drained the additional battery that goes below it, so it's actually quite a clever design they've got for this camera, that you've got the main battery in the main body of the camera, but you've got an additional bit that clips on the bottom of this, and that gives you like 35% extra power. So if you're going out and you're worried you're using up a bit too much juice, you can always just slide this in, even when you're filming, and continue it in while the process of filming is taking place, and it'll just click in and then add power to the camera, and you won't have to even stop shooting. That's quite good. I know the audio is extremely good on these cameras because I noticed a difference with the Osmo Action 3 camera was much better than what I'd had on the GoPro. I didn't think much of that, to be quite frank. But again, it was an early GoPro model, so you've got to be fair on that one, I guess. But it's been a relief that I've got the camera working. That was something that was really bugging me. I mean, the last thing I wanted to have to do was to mail it back. That's a real hassle. The other thing today that hadn't happened with the camera, I wasn't able to update the firmware on it. Now that should happen automatically, but it took about 4 or 5 goes to get that to work too. So it's been a bit of a frustrating experience. The initial one just to get it up and running. The activation took a while. Globally, the world's turning to crap, whereas there's so many potential conflicts at the moment. I think I wouldn't want to be living in Iran right now. I'll put you that way. I have a feeling that the Americans might start bombing the crap out of military installations in Iran, because Iran has been supplying the Yemenis with all that ammunition, which is disrupting the shipping lanes, which is going to mean all our goods are going up in price. But on top of that, of course, Iran is supplying Russia with drones. So I wouldn't be shedding a tear if the US decided to target Iran. I think Iran's been getting away with murder recently, and they just seem to respond to the big stick. I think that's going to be required. So yeah, it's oh, that's a nice breeze. Oh man, when it blows up like that, oh, that's heaven. That's what I don't get inside. I have to, I use the fans, but they're just not as good. Natural breeze is much better. Yeah, that's quite nice here. Yeah, this is actually reasonably pleasant. It's a good design, this. They're having these, having the veranda like this, I think is a great design. I really should do something about getting a barbecue or something together. I did get a Coles delivery today, and she delivered at 9 o'clock. It was a lady too. It's been a lady the last 3 times. And she said it was her last delivery, so she must have started pretty early in the morning, which is probably good because this time of year you wouldn't be starting late. So, I'm sure she was very happy about that. Got to get used to panning, using this new camera, using the panning facility for the gimbal. That's something I haven't had to do in the old one, but it's handy because you can change the framing of your shot by just pushing that little switch. So my bus should be here in a few minutes, taking me straight to Kawara, which would be nice. I got a lift here with Dale, who lopped the tree for me this morning, you saw. So that's which I captured on camera. He knew what he was doing. It did drop in exactly the right spot, so I'm very grateful for that. And cost me the princely sum of $100. And I know how much Arbitrus charge, so that's cheap. Whew, getting off the bus was like walking into a sauna. It's that hot. I didn't think the aircon was that effective, but yeah, it is. Unfortunately, this bus driver didn't drop me off at the entrance to my street. I was just lucky the last couple of times. But yeah, my underarm was starting to itch. I mean, got all the skin irritation is happening. Maybe I should have more than one shower a day. I think this weather's so extreme that might be worth exploring. See if I can... I'm trying to get my gimbal to turn around, but it's done it before, but now it won't. So I don't understand what's happening with this camera. Yeah, well, there you go. I think I just worked it out. I can switch the gimbal around to being a selfie shot, but I have to stop recording to do that. So, no big deal. It's still not a bad system. It's better than the Action camera, the Action 3 that I've got. So, yeah, I'm pretty impressed with it. The only trouble with this camera is it's got such good fidelity that you can see all my skin blemishes. And being an old prick, of course, looks like a moonscape, my complexion. So, yeah, sometimes it's better off having lower definition. But I'm looking forward to getting back into the house, getting the fans on, and I might even indulge in some aircon today because it's pretty damn warm. Certainly Dale earned his money today. I actually gave him a bonus because he worked bloody hard to get that tree removed. Unfortunately, I have less shade in the front yard, but really I need to get rid of that tree. It was shedding so many fronds. Just horrible. The good news is the Azuto shredder, the silent shredder, is actually back in stock at Smithfield Bunnings, which is fantastic news because I have got so much bloody stuff to be moved, to be either picked up or shredded to be turned into mulch, which is what I'd rather do. I'd rather actually do that for the garden than actually... I'll turn around this way so you can actually see the garden in the background. Yeah, so I'll now got... it's in stock, I can buy it, and I think I will, and I'll spend next week just basically shredding the crap out of all the fronds that I've got. And as long as they're dry, I don't think there'll be much of an issue. I won't even try shredding stuff that's actually that isn't dried out. So that's good news. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention as well was that I had a successful batch of beef rendang. And what I've learned is that you basically got to you've got to cook it, you've got to simmer it until the actual sauce in it becomes like gravy consistency. That's probably the best way I could describe it. So if it's like a gravy, it's that thick sort of brown consistency, that's the best. And yeah, it worked out well. It was as good as one of my best batches. So in future, I'd used a greater heat this time, and it definitely seemed to work. Now, if I go around this way, and I'll give you an idea how much crap I've got to get rid of. It's down the back there. You can probably see it over my shoulder. We've got a thunderstorm happening at the moment, so I thought this might be something spectacular to get shots of a bit of lightning. Although I don't seem to be seeing much lightning, it's just more rain. But it's a godsend because it's much cooler. So I'm very happy with that. And yeah, I'm making progress on all this stuff. I need to get a few loose ends finished up in the next week or so. Well, that was a rather interesting bus ride on that e-bus. I was intending to get off at Trinity Beach and soak up some of the happy hour, but by the time I got there it was 5:20. It was a very slow bus ride. Made a little longer for the stop at Smithfield, where there was an altercation between two young girls as they were getting onto the bus, and one attacked the other. And then there was quite a bit of shock, and then a couple of guys got up and told her to get off the bus, the assailant presumably. And then she tried to, she's only young, like probably about 15, 16 max, and she tried to get on through the rear door, and they told her to get off the bus. Other passengers yelled at her to get off the bus, so she didn't exactly top the popularity polls. The bus driver checked her out to make sure she wasn't too badly injured, the one that was attacked, and so that delayed the bus trip by at least 5 or 10 minutes longer. So fate was just against me today to go to the happy hour. I could really do with a drink. It's actually not quite as oppressive out now, thank God. The other thing, I can't turn it around so I can. I just found out I actually can switch the gimbal around so that it gives a headshot of me. My dishevelled state. Probably got quite a bit of BO coming from the shirt. It's been quite a hot day and quite a challenging day and a frustrating day. And so my social outing at happy hour is not going to happen today, so bit of a bummer. I haven't done this for a while. A little nervous because the plastic shell that the camera's attached to has fallen off in hot weather. So I'm hoping that it'll stay on today. Yesterday was a disaster. I couldn't even go down to the pub, so I had a few G&Ts when I got home and had the rest of my spaghetti marinara, which I might add is incredibly easy to make. And it's really just getting the sauce done, because the actual ingredients, the main ingredients of the seafood, I just throw them in right at the last minute for about the last 2 or 3 minutes once the sauce has been made, which is just a tomato combo sauce, canned tomatoes with tomato paste. So it's very simple, with sauteing a bit of onion before that and garlic. Yeah, very basic. It's my basic sauce, and it's an extremely easy meal to make. So I had the second portion last night when I got home, so that was very nice. It's pleasant doing this because I'm only going a short distance and I am getting a bit of a breeze, so it's quite nice. I wonder if I'll bump into my neighbours on this corner again. Did that last time I went down here. I usually go a bit later in the day. It's about 11. It might be past when they walk their dogs. But with the still air, it just feels really humid, and I'm hoping for a break from that in the near future, and I'll share all that information with you when I collect it on my new camera. It's a very short trip. I just got to go down to where the car park is at the end of the beach here, and then I'll check out what's happening with the trail bridge. I don't expect any progress. As a matter of fact, I was informed that the life-saving hut has lost power and water, so I hope that means that they're not going to, they've disconnected them, so obviously it's not usable. So does that mean we're not going to have our nets in the future? I doubt that, because we've got the infrastructure there. I'd find it hard to believe. I really should get on to our councillor about it. He's pretty proactive, and there's that and a couple of issues. We've also got a big vacant lot at the other end of this particular street, Kawara Street, that was supposedly going to be developed into units, but that sign with all the advertising has come down, and now it's just become a weed block. That's just weeds are growing there, so which means there might be snakes and God knows what else. I don't think I'd be too happy living across the road from there. But this is right down the opposite end where the barbecues and the toilet facilities are, and where the nets are. But again, I don't think the nets are operative at the moment. But we'll find out. It's a fantastic area to bike ride down though. It's very quiet. It'll be a bit busy today since it's a weekend. But during the week I haven't really had opportunity to come down here. I probably will next week, unless I'm going absolutely crazy on the shredder, because I've got a lot of stuff to shred. So if I do get to pick that up on Monday, if it still is in stock and I was able to get it, I'll be spending most of the week shredding palm fronds, because it's going to cost me $90 to have them removed. I got a quote, so it's not cheap. Another thing that's not cheap is electricity up here. I saw a report that apparently we're getting really screwed badly in Queensland. Other states at the end of the year, we're all seeing reductions in the cost of electricity, but not here. No one down here. Interesting. So we got increases, and the reason is there's a coal plant that has been offline for I think almost 12 months, maybe more, and it's taking forever to get the thing fixed. And when that's offline, we're all paying more for our electricity. Maybe we're buying from the estate. I'm not sure what the machinations of the energy market is. Pretty complex, so I wouldn't want to even guess how it's calculated, but the bottom line is we're paying more than other states in Australia who have actually had a reduction in price. Another thing that really pisses me off is this ergon situation up here in Cairns, and probably Townsville as well. I'd say it's the whole FNQ area. We have no competition. You can't go to another retailer because there aren't any. It's the wholesaler retailer all one, and there's no choice. My cousin who lives in Melbourne they were getting increased power bills. They changed retailers and had a huge reduction in the price of the electricity. So it just shows how important competition is. So here we are, and well, they are putting up rails. There actually is some, well, that's good. These are permanent rails by the looks of things. So progress is being made. I don't know what that thing is just sitting there. It'd be nice if we had an ETA on this. It'll probably be when I'm not in town. That would be typical. But yeah, they're the permanent rails. They fixed up the gate so you can't get through now, so there won't be people sneaking through. No, it's pretty well impossible now. So yeah, they're done on that side as well. So that's where they did their repair jobs. But that's the rails seem to go the whole distance. So what the hell is holding them up? They've obviously got to do their final inspection and sign off on the thing, but you know, this thing has dragged on way too long in my opinion, because the most of the work, the heavy lifting work, which is the major structures, all been completed a while back. And it looks pretty well ready to go to me. It looks like they've done all the rails, which is fantastic. Just open the bloody thing, for God's sake. People want to use it. They're desperate to use it. They climb through broken wire to use it. So just open it up to the public. Don't be so bloody minded. Or is it just because some polly wants to do an opening ceremony with the ribbon. I mean, that's pathetic if that's what's holding this up. I mean, there's obviously compliance and a whole other BS we have in the modern world, which is, sort of slows things down. But yeah, you got to wonder. But like I say, up here we get screwed with a lot of things, and one of them is electricity. And that, you know, we're not very good at doing projects, I think, because there's a dam there. I think it was down Bundaberg Way or somewhere down further south. Everything's further south from Cairns virtually. And that was only built recently, I think the last decade or two, and it's already had faults with it, and they've had to repair it. And now it's at half capacity, and it's just a total engineering schmozzle. Mind you, comparing that to my experience with a place like Ho Chi Minh City, they've had a metro that has been in construction for years, and I think it's about 5 years behind its original opening date. One of the reasons was they didn't pay the contractors, the Japanese contractors, so they just down tools. So that was just a matter of money. But here, I think it's more to do with just competence, you know. They obviously didn't construct that dam properly, and so therefore the people in that area don't have the water resources they should have. I hope they do a better job up here when we've got to get a new dam built, and apparently the cost has doubled. Geez, so quiet here today. I thought there'd be people down here on the weekend. This is strange. I suppose people are out shopping with what little money they've got left.